Okay, good. I think I got everything running now. Let me get the old headset on so I can hear, if I'm saying or doing anything here, so I can hear myself too. That's why I don't get distracted by all the stuff around me. Let me click away, get out of this system. Okay, so I don't get it. What's going on is that I don't know, everybody in government is like attacking kids, and it's really weird. For instance, this morning, Congress is defunded the CHIP program, the Children's Health Insurance Program. So today, the government is screwing around with CHIP. It's $7 billion, and the reason why they need to take it away is to pay for the tax cut. And what that means is that they... Alexa, stop. That's funny. I forgot to turn off the music. It's a pot of money that is used to help children who make sure that children have health insurance. I mean, who wouldn't want a kid to have health insurance? What kind of person wouldn't want a kid to have health insurance? Would defund something that already exists to pay for, no matter what, whether it's to pay for a tax bill or what, right? Now, there's, within 24 hours of passing that tax bill that they passed, which increased $2.2 trillion on the debt or so far, they were, within 24 hours, saying that Paul Ryan was saying that now they need to tax Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and they're going after it, and that's the way it is. So how it relates to kids is that, let's see, another couple of things. DACA, now some of them are, they were kids when they joined, or when they got in the program, and they're 30 or something now, but they're still under the same rules and stuff that they had when they joined, and that is they have to be in school, have a job, or have a job full time. They have to be on the up and up, not have any kind of legal problems. There's all kinds of stuff. And what these people are is they're people that, I mean, they grew up in the United States. They were brought here by their parents, or sent here by their parents, or whatever happened, including human trafficking, which is what serious people are saying probably happened to about some of the 1,500 kids they have missing from the immigrant program. So that the DACA thing, that there are kids that grew up here. I'm sure some are older now, but so what? It doesn't, it's they're people that are productive members of society by being and staying in the DACA program. They have to be productive members of society. They have to be in school, college. They have to work, whatever it is. Now, the immigration thing, this is crazy. This is crazy. They're separating families at the border. People that are coming for sanctuary. Now, sanctuary is a legally defined thing. I don't have the legal definition at hand, but you can certainly find it. It's when someone's being persecuted in their own, wherever they're coming from, and or they can't live there, have any semblance of an actual life where they are, due to things like wars and famines and disease outbreaks, and wars. And we have plenty of those. So these sanctuary people are leaving where they're leaving because in the case, in one specific case, just to pull one out that I was reading about, when I start getting into this, it really makes me crazy, and I start skipping around a bit, and I'm going to try not to do that. So the sanctuary people, maybe a woman who watched while the government person killed their husband, and then she was turned into a sexual slave, and managed to grab her kid and take off and bust out. Now, if she was to stay anywhere in that village, in that township, in that what the equivalent of county, whatever, she was going to die. So they start a trip and take it all the way through, God knows where. And they end up at the border of the United States, and they ask for sanctuary. Now, there's legal stuff regarding sanctuary. And one is that you're not really allowed to arrest them, take their children away, send their children to God knows where, and lose their children, and put them in prisons. They just transferred 1,600 or 2,000 immigrants into federal prisons in the last day or so. The thing is the whole... sanctuary. Okay, so that's what sanctuary is, and people are, they get desperate. They'll send their kids. They'll give their kids all the money they can scrape up and all the goods, and send them along with a group of people that are looking for sanctuary. Now, when they get to the U.S., they're treated as people seeking sanctuary, not like criminals. That's what happens in every country when someone seeking sanctuary shows up. The country looks at their application, weighs it with applicable milestones or what have you, and they deal with it. That's not what happened. What's happening now is they're literally taking kids away from parents' arms or adults' arms. They're literally taking them away while the adults aren't sure what's going on, and they don't know yet, or maybe they're starting to hear that they're not going to see their kids again. Maybe. There are 7,000 children right now. 7,000 children in the foster program in the U.S. Who the government didn't track. They're not they've done this stuff so hokey and half-assed that when they designed it, they didn't think about what was going to happen with the they never think about what's going to happen with anything. But the rest of the world is looking at us again like we're some kind of monsters because we because we kind of are now. Now this thing about you're going to hear the president is talking about how the Democrats responsible. The Democrats pass a law that's why it's responsible. That's why Democrats are responsible for taking away, for making kids be put in cages in old Walmarts. Literally and for real. And this isn't, and that's just not true. It's a lie. It's an absolute lie. It's not only a lie, but it's propaganda that it's stuff that's not true that the government is pushing real hard. Now, back in, I think it was about, last month, maybe the month before, Sessions, Attorney General Jeffrey Beauregard Sessions III, that is, had a press briefing. There was like a press thing that he did right on the beach. You can see the ocean behind him. And he was like, well, we will incarcerate and prosecute anybody who's illegally crossing the border. And if you bring a child, we're going to prosecute you for bringing a child illegally over the border. And if you're a child and you come in, you're going to be prosecuted. Okay, so that was a big thing. I mean, that was a big break from what we've always done, which is keep the families together. With whatever we do, keep the families together. Now, on purpose, we're criminalizing every one of these families, even if they're sanctuary seekers, and that's wrong. And that's gonna be a problem when people are seeking sanctuary from what the United States is becoming. That's a whole other thing. Now, the other day, Kirsten, the gal that's in charge of HHS, backed up the same stuff. And she said the same thing, too. Democrats' policies have led to this. And it's ridiculous because it's absolutely Jeff Sessions' policy. And it's real easy to find the video where he's saying what I just said about smuggling children and about children being prosecuted. And now they're taking children, they're separating them, and they're sending them and they're putting them in cages in like old Walmarts while they're trying to figure out what they're doing about it. They don't have a system once the child has been moved through the old Walmart and put into a foster care. They don't have a system to track those children and to see what happens to them. And right now, there are 1,500 kids missing I mean, 7,000 kids is a lot. 1,500 kids is a lot of a percentage of 7,000 kids are missing because the Trump administration didn't put in any kind of plan in place to track them and make sure that they didn't end up with human traffickers. Now, 1,500 missing kids. Many people are saying that a bunch of those kids went to human trafficking hands. Think about that. Think about being a child who's just taking this weird bus ride, walking trek halfway across the globe, and now you're walking up to the border and surrendering yourself as sanctuary. And what the United States does is grab your children from your arms and take them away and ship them off somewhere. Have you guys seen the picture of the bus? The bus they have that is just full. It's like a school bus, but it's full of baby seats. Now, what they're saying is Trump is being, quote, tough but not too mean. What the hell is that? When do things get mean? When you start just literally slaughtering people? I mean, it was October 12th, of 2017. I've got a note here. When the big rollout, when old Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III did his rollout on the beach, with the beach behind him and everything, and he said that you will be prosecuted if you smuggle a child into the United States. You will be prosecuted if you are a child coming in illegally into the United States. You will be prosecuted. Okay, it was a big thing. And just a couple weeks ago, that woman in charge, Kirstjen Nielsen, she's the HHS secretary. She just last week or so said use the word smuggling illegal aliens, crossing the border illegally, smuggling children, and what these are. Yes, people are doing that, but there are a lot of people who are seeking sanctuary, and that's not smuggling. And that's not illegal, and that's not prosecutable, and the rest of the world is watching what we're doing right now. It's a real thing. Asylum, it's a real thing. They're being treated as illegal people. They're scared. When you come, you don't travel halfway across the world or whatever to throw yourself at the border on your knees and beg for asylum because it's fun. They know it's not going to be easy. They know it's going to be tough. And so you've got this level of fear kicking up. And that's what this whole administration is doing right now. It's bringing everybody's fear levels up. They're calling people animals. That Kirstjen Nielsen referred to humans as animals. Now this is if you go through history and you look at authoritarian things as they're happening, this is one of the things that happens. They start picking scapegoats. Now they're calling Hispanic immigrants animals. And then they go back afterward and say, "Oh, well, we meant MS-13." Well, MS-13 aren't animals either. They're humans. They're horrible humans. But people aren't animals, and that's part of the dehumanization process that goes on. We have 11,000 kids, I guess. It's there are a total of 11,000. These numbers are crazy. The 7,000 that they know about that they've moved out, 1,500 they don't know where they are, and just because there's no process put in place, they didn't think it out beforehand and figure out, well, what happens when we turn over these children to these people? Are they gonna take them somewhere and sell them? That apparently has happened with some of these people. These people, they're regular people. They're just striving to come here to the United States. They just want a chance. They just want that chance that all of our relatives wanted. Our families wanted when they came here. My family came here in 1650 or so. I got the paperwork somewhere. And we were refugees. And we were just looking for a chance at a better life. A footman at the Devaney Castle in Ireland got his stuff together and saved up and came over here to the United States in about 1650 and landed in the Boston area. And I'm an immigrant, and my family are immigrants, okay? And we're white. About as white as you get, I'm thinking. English, Irish, Scottish. We're immigrants. So, refugees are a different thing from illegal criminals crossing the border, and they need to be treated separately. Who am I talking to? I'm talking to anyone who reads this on replay and to the people who are checking in and out. If you have any questions about or want me to rant about anything about what they're doing to children right now, that's fine. What they're doing is dehumanizing children. They're separating children from parents. They're doing it, and they're doing it in lots of places. They're separating children from parents. They have a whole policy now on separating children from parents. They're separating. They're making children evil. Hello from Dubai. Hello to Dubai. I'm getting distracted now. That's okay. It's just an awful thing treating kids like this. They're taking kids out of the arms of refugees, putting yellow wristbands on them, okay, and taking them away. Now there's a history in the world of marking specific races of people with yellow marks and separating them as they come in. This is what authoritarians do. Okay, you go to the left, you go to the right. To the right, it's to the showers. The showers, right? It really does make me nuts. It really does. These separating kids. I mean, it shows the whole world. The whole world is looking at us. Let me finish. I'll answer your question. I have no problem with any immigrants from anywhere in the world, personally, especially people that are seeking refuge, right? It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where someone comes from. Like, it doesn't matter what someone's political party says or is. It's what they say and what they do that matters. It's more what they do that matters, and why they do it, and who benefits from what they're doing that matters. What they say, it turns out, is doesn't mean jack anymore. Growing up, politicians were full of hot air. They exaggerated things, and they might say that they're going to try to get something to happen that they knew wasn't going to happen. But that's not what's going on now, and this is where part of the disconnect is the gaslighting is going on, because my parents and grandparents, my grandparents have passed, my parents but the grandparents, where they passed away, they all called politicians liars too. They all knew that politicians exaggerate. You can't believe a politician. So that's all built in now. It's all built in culturally to those that have been in the United States, not to the refuge seekers that are coming in that have no idea what the hell is going on at all. Lost my train of thought because I just get too wrapped up in this. So separating kids from adults. CHIP program, defunding insurance for children. DACA, those are all children that have to stay here and do really well. I don't think I could afford Dubai. I can hardly afford California, right? No one can afford California. But we figure we do what we need to stay here. That's for sure. So that's it. The children. That's about it for my rant for kids. Is that the U.S. looks at the world now like we're separating children. There, people are fleeing terror and or bombing and or families being murdered, and putting them and separating their children and putting a yellow mark on them. It was a star. It was a yellow star in some other regime. A yellow wristband. And that's not an accident. The Stephen Miller guy that works in the White House, that's not an accident. He's there on purpose. Right? He's there. He's the guy driving. He and John Kelly, who I personally have shook hands with and met, that I didn't think was a racist, guy, turns out to be. Americans don't hate people that don't hate Muslims. Americans don't hate people from from the Middle East or the Far East. No, some nasty old dudes that run the country, that hate children, that hate immigrants, that want all the money. The only thing that matters to them is money and getting more money, and that's all that matters. And that's all that matters to corporations, and that's who's running this country. Now, I'm going to stop with the children thing, and I'm going to start another thing in a moment. Thanks for joining me, and you can follow me to see other stuff that I do. Have a great day. Okay.